You are about to opt in to Monerotopia, a show for the Monero community where all are welcome to join. From noob to maxi, no matter what bags you hold. Just sit back and relax to the sweet sounds of Monero's latest progress. Or if you're feeling inspired, join us on stage. Remember, the only thing that can stop Monero is a false belief that it can be stopped. And if you want to win the revolution faster, we recommend you remove your XMR from all custodial exchanges immediately. Warning, voting accidents are common around here. Don't forget to properly secure your private keys. Monerotopia starts now. Hello.
Why can't I hear myself? There we go.
Because it's, I forget you're kind of slightly deaf.
And
Hi, how's it going? Cheerios.
Cheers.
Happy, Tuesday evening, I guess? Thank you. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Sorry,
we're a little confused around here. Normally it's Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, but we got a little thrown off because we did the tail emission party.
Yes.
So that counted as an episode, and then we
were talking about it over the weekend. We're like, we should do another one before we head out too.
So, yeah, we didn't do Saturday. Yeah. We really had ourselves covered because we had already done tail emission, but us being overachievers, we were like, we still got to do this week's episode. We weren't able to do Saturday because of family stuff. And we felt bad because tail emission day was all about tail emission stuff, which was awesome. Anybody that had a tail emission day party, congrats to you.
Congrats. It was a
or even if you didn't have a tail emission party, anybody that is in Monero that is cognizant of the fact that we moved over to our tail emission. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, it was a success. I mean, we had a decent amount of people show up. Actually, we had like a good 20, 25 people, which, not too shabby for New York.
Yeah, I met some people who I've met in the past, but didn't know their whole stories. And then I got to know them a little bit more. And then I met, obviously, a lot of new people.
Yeah, lots of new people. And obviously, Vic Sharma and Sunali Sharma were there, the sponsor of the Tail Emission Fiesta. It was awesome. They had a good time. Hopefully, we'll be seeing them at MoneroKon.
Now we got some new New York Monero connections. Yes,
right? We
people
did.
That now
all over, which is really nice.
With, and it's growing, guys.
It's growing.
I know our network is growing, so Monero's network will certainly be growing, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's hard to keep up, actually.
Yeah, it's very hard to keep up. But thanks for those that did a tail emission party. Our amigo Tony made a cute little what's called Twitter post with all the pictures and stuff. I mean, I guess I'll put it in the description.
You want to show it?
I mean, I can show it. I have it ready. Let's
do it. Let's do it.
Everyone was
Tony.
ready to see it for Tony. Hold on, share screen. Gotta figure out how to do this faster, but whatever.
All right. They can wait.
They can wait. The suspense. There you go. I think. Yeah, it's showing up.
Nice.
So let me put the sound up. I made everyone deaf. Oh my God. Really woke you up if you were falling asleep. We'll fix that in the audio. It was very cute. Wait, let's play it over and over and over and over again.
Oh my God. I'm deaf and you blew out my eardrums.
Good vibes. Someone said that.
You can finally hear again.
There you go. You can. I'll make sure to fix that.
I didn't even know it had music, so I guess when I watched it on Twitter.
Oh, you didn't? I thought it was really cute.
All right, cool. It was
good job.
Even
good job,
better
Tony.
Than I thought. Tony,
yeah,
awesome.
Really good job. He got clips from all the tail emissions.
Can we let's drop hints on the project that we're working on now with Tony, or should we just go out and put it out there?
I don't know. I mean, we're still working on it. So
well, actually, no. Let's put it out there because we need help, right? So
yes,
I know Tony's going to make a post, but we might as well put it out there now. So what we're thinking of doing is, rather than waiting for the next Monerotopia to kind of start doing little events now.
It feels like we don't do enough. He just wants to add more because, he feels like.
Well, we don't know when we're going to do the next one. Tony's raring to go. So we're like, why don't we start doing little Monero parties Basically, we're going to try to do DJ, dance parties with like electronic music. This sounds crazy as I'm saying it. You should show Circle. Can you show Circle?
I don't
Bring
know
it
if
up?
I can.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Circle, we love them. They're on YouTube. They're out of like France, I think. They started this years ago. They basically every week, every Monday night, they live stream an awesome DJ session from like the most beautiful places around the world. It's actually the background on our Monerotopia thing. It's called
that was the original background. Yeah,
right. It's called Circle.
Yeah, it's called Circle.
Yeah, so they'll be like in front of the pyramids, DJ playing amazing electronic music. They do it all over, like most beautiful places in the world. And then they have, people can come, they're live. And then they use drones to like shoot amazing footage of it. And they put it up on YouTube, and it's just like great to watch and experience. It's like real quality stuff, cool videos. And it's just nice to have in the background at a party, playing really good music, and you have this beautiful imagery that's up there that's being drone shot. So we're going to try to basically copy that and try to do that at locations, have DJs show up, have a little party. You can buy your tickets with Monero to show up on the spot. Then we're going to broadcast it. We probably won't stream it live just because it probably won't turn out as well, but we'll film it. We'll get videographers to film it. We'll get really good DJ, find a really good, beautiful location. We're going to do it, in conjunction where there's other conferences maybe taking place, and then we already have kind of a built-in audience that could show up. And it's something that, like, even if 10 people show up, it'll be a success because it's more about filming it and then putting it up, on a channel where then people can come and tune into these, and they could tip the DJ and the production team directly with Monero. So we're going to tie that into it. So it's like, because that's something, just basically how the idea started. We'd watch this and be like, oh, how cool would it be if we could just like send a tip to the DJ, for Circle, because they're doing such an amazing job. It's just like, we're enjoying this. And then so that will partially fund it, and that's going to showcase Monero and the power of Monero and being able to, send it super cheap to anybody anywhere in the world. And that's the basic idea. But we are looking for people. Obviously, we're looking for DJs from all around the world. Anybody that, we could come to your area and do one of the shows there. And then we're looking for a really good videographer. So the first one is probably going to be in Mallorca, because we're going to be that's another announcement we can make. We're going to the Mallorca. What is it called?
Blockchain.
Is it called the blockchain? Mallorca
no,
blockchain?
But yeah,
they seem
Mallorca
really hard.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, though. I'm surprised they're called blockchain something.
Yeah, the Mallorca blockchain.
Yeah, and so it's basically a hardcore Bitcoin conference that is now turning into a Monero conference. Nam is going to be speaking there. Seth I think might be speaking there. They asked him. They asked us. So I mean, that's pretty
why
amazing.
Not, guys?
I was looking at last year's list of speakers, and it was like Tone Vase. So like, I don't know if Tone Vase is showing up anymore. If it's gonna, be half Monero. I hope he does. This could be a way to slowly bring Tone into Monero. We're all hanging out.
We can ask him during
Mallorca, chilling, drinking wine. But it's cool. It's cool to see that they're moving towards Monero there, and we thought that'd be good place to showcase this concept. It's a beautiful look. Mallorca is. I mean, I've only seen pictures, haven't been there. It looks amazing. I mean, it's an island off the coast of Spain in the Mediterranean. Yeah. How can it not be amazing?
Well, that sounds terrible.
And so we want to do our first little Monerotopia. What do we call these things? That's another thing, guys. We need a name for this.
Monerotopia
minis. Monerotopia minis.
Really? Monerotopia sound.
Monerotopia sound. I like that. Monerotopia tunes. Yeah, we'll create its own channel, so like people aren't inundated with our other content. It's just like something they can put on and play, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I thought we could.
That's
keep
what
it
I think
on
would
the
be
same
better,
one,
because
like
if you're kind of tuning in for the Circle experience, you don't want to then be like, "Hey guys, it's Monero Talk." Like skip.
True. Valid point.
We want to try to bring in the broader crypto community to watch this channel. Right. And then we were thinking of using Yacht for the tipping,
which, by the way, we have it now.
Yeah, another announcement.
What?
Right. So
Free
Yat
speech money.
is now integrated into Cake, so you could send, you could easily input somebody's address via their Yat, and it's all hooked up and working. So you get a Yat, you could associate your Monero address with it, and then people
thanks
can
to those
easily,
that already gave us a little tip. That was really sweet.
Yeah, it could easily send you Monero to that address by just typing your Yat into Cake. So ours is free speech money. We haven't really put to use yet because the functionality didn't exist, but we have the Yat.
Now we have it. Now
thanks to Fluffy gave us that, right?
Yeah, he did. That was very sweet.
Yeah,
so thank
Fluffy
you, Fluffy
Pony, Ricardo Spagni gave us that, which is really awesome. We were so happy, like free speech money, like awesome.
Yeah,
awesome
that was very sweet. Thank you.
But now we could put it to good use.
Yes.
So we're thinking, for this DJ thing we're talking about, maybe that's what we'll show so people can tip via the Yat, and then that also then doesn't just limit it to Monero, so we could get other people that are into other cryptos watching these videos, and then we'll be tipping, and then obviously we'll be pulling them into Monero land. But we need help.
So for those that want to reach out and help us out in any way you can, just email us at monerotopia@protonmail.com.
Videographers in Europe, in
or
Spain,
DM us on Twitter,
that want to come over for a day.
DM
to film
me on
this.
Reddit. Where else am I on? Because most likely you should reach out.
What is the best way for people? I would say give them the email.
Yeah, Monerotopia, but there are other options. I'm giving them options.
Okay.
Monerotopia@protonmail.com.
Yes,
so,
no longer Monerotalkia Live at gmail.com.
No.
We got ridiculed enough. Even though
it took a while. No,
we use it with the expectation that all our data is being stolen from it, but it comes with the convenience for their other apps that you can use, right? Really, the shared.
Yeah, well, the drive is just very useful. But Proton Mail is really upping their game, so might be slowly transferring to that. But I mean, originally I used C-Templar. Yeah, I know. Well, I used C-Templar, but then that was not very good. It was very glitchy and kind of painful, but sadly also they they
we kind of predicted that, like they kind of sucked.
It stunk, but it's okay. Well, it stinks that it didn't work is what I'm trying to say. Because it was
it's awesome that they were accepting Monero,
but I guess let's move on because we have the price report. But just before we jump into that, for those of you that haven't seen the LNC 2022 video, we edited it nicely. We put all the interviews that we took there, all clips, so you can get a feel of how the conference went. And we think, it was a success.
Definitely
check that video out if you still haven't. I think we published it a couple of days ago. So check that out if you haven't. And I guess we'll probably talk about MoneroKon a little later. But we're going to MoneroKon tomorrow, so stay tuned for that episode when we're there.
Oh my god, we're leaving tomorrow.
Yes, we're leaving tomorrow, and we're nonstop action.
We go to work, guys, too. This is we were 5 minutes late because I was stuck on the Grand Central Parkway.
The traffic here is
but we're super excited for MoneroKon.
Yes, we are very excited. But we'll go through the list of speakers and stuff. But for now, let's move on because aFungible is patiently waiting. So let's move on. And I'm sure all of you.
Somebody's saying the Yat link on your YouTube description doesn't work, by the way.
No, I put the link. Oh,
I guess the link you put doesn't go to our actual Yat page.
It's supposed to. All right, I'll check it after.
Thank you for pointing out one of Sunita's mistakes. Anybody else notice anything?
Oh my God, please. How rude. That's so rude because, you do so much.
Okay, thanks for letting us know. Thank you for anything else silly that you see we're doing, please let us know.
About. Well, there are other.
Somebody's saying Monerotopia Radio. That's a good name. But there's also Monero Radio.
Yeah, there's XMR Radio.
XMR Radio. Maybe we could team up with them for this. We don't want too many cooks in the kitchen too, right? Then it becomes we can't really do what we want.
All right, let's move on to the price report. I said, because you're just talking too much. The Monerotopia price report segment is sponsored by Local Monero. Avoid using KYC exchanges. Buy and sell Monero directly for fiat, peer-to-peer.
Hello, guys. Good evening.
Good
What's
evening,
going
all.
on, man?
Thank you for patiently waiting.
No, actually, in fact, I thought it was 1 hour little too early because I was expecting that it's going to be 1 o'clock for me, but it's actually only 12 o'clock. So
All
you said
right,
nice.
we got you
Okay.
for
6
2
p.m.
hours then. All
Okay.
right,
You got me a little early. So
this
that is
might
all
be
good.
a 2-hour price report. The world, lots
Well,
changed.
I will continue seeing how much I can, but that'll be interesting. And yeah, the thing that you said about the move from Gmail to ProtonMail, I think it's really good.
Awesome, man. Yep.
Awesome.
I
Yeah,
think,
finally moved
and
over.
also hope to see you guys soon.
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully. Right.
All right,
Awesomeness. All
let
right.
me get started with this. So this guy is somebody everybody knows, I guess. He was the Dogecoin millionaire some time ago, but he's still holding on to the stash, and he's not anymore. But he's, from what I see online, it's just a kind of meme. But let's move on. What's going on in the world? Stock markets are going down. Crypto is going down. The wage increase has been stagnating. No increase there, but everybody's running after gas, food, and rent. So if that part is increasing, and that is what has been causing the recent massacre. We're just going to talk about the market structure, where we are today globally, some analysis, and just to guess, do some guesswork where the bottom might be, or most importantly, not where but when. That is the more important question. So um, let us see where we are. So right, so this is the BTC chart. Um, just to brief out, the RSI is at the lowest, and historically, we are at the historic lows of RSI. And that is during the COVID crash and somewhere in 2015, 2020, somewhere over here, and now here. So that means we have basically marked the low of Bitcoin in a way. But that is not true because this basically shows the momentum, and the good news is bottom is near, but the bad news is actually we might go a little lower. That is what I think. However, the blue line that you see here is the 200 week moving average. So what this is that whenever we have seen Bitcoin bottoming out, we basically kiss this 200 week moving average every time. So we can extend beyond this, but whenever we see a bottom, so this is basically like the market structure that is forming, and historically it has proven to be 100% correct. And if you see back in the early days, so let's take, when was the bottom? I think 2018 something. Yes, so it did break this structure, but it basically bounced off of it. It did break this structure, it bounced off of it. So whenever this has happened historically, it has not really breached it. And even if that happens, that's momentary. So where are we right now? This is about 21,000, 22,000. I think in one of the previous reports, I had indicated that I see around 22, 23, but this comes to about 22, 21, 22, right? And this, the longer we stay here, this keeps increasing. Historically is increased. So if we basically project it, that means by October of this year, we will be somewhere around 25, 26,000. We don't have to stay in this range for long, but what I'm trying to indicate is there is a possibility that we might break, and I see the previous all-time highs around 19,000 um, to be a good support, and in fact even around 22,000. That is my expectation, that we will stay at these levels for some time, but at some point we can get a bounce back because RSI is low. But I do see we coming back and trying to test these levels and shake some hodlers out. And let me also add something called hash
So what he's
ribbons.
saying, like around 17 would be the deal?
Yeah, I don't think I was going down to something like 14 or 13. Some people have predicted, but I think it's just a capitulation event that has always historically always happened to shake out. So right now, what we are seeing is a slow bleeding in the market, and that means there is no end to it. What I would like to see is a quick. So we have two options. We either see a quick pain, which is like capitulation, or we see a slow bleeding and for quite a long time staying around these levels, and then at some point when economy is better off, then we start moving up. So I cannot really call the bottom.
I
Sorry.
mean, you think if this is going to be triggered by some event, or it's just going to be Bitcoin's, natural TA? Like, you think there's
Well,
some, event in the broader market that might cause this, or
yeah, I will just come to that. In fact, I was about to talk about that. It's to do with inflation as well as the interest rates on the broader markets, because everything is kind of interrelated. And each time, whenever we have such capitulation events, even if you see the 2008 financial crisis in stock markets, it was basically a different animal. So each time it's very different. So I cannot really call out the exact bottom. I think it's very difficult to do that. Um, but I think we have some more pain to come. That's my expectation. So if we see this something called hash ribbon, it's basically you see the miners, the hash rate of Bitcoin has been going up, and everybody's singing songs about that the hash rate is going up. But what is actually happening right now, since we saw this dip recently, this major dip from whatever 30,000 something to down to 20,000, the miners have started capitulating. So what this means is, in the coming time, the hash rate of Bitcoin network is going to fall down. And that's my expectation, that it's going to really capitulate. So miners are going to switch off the system, it's going to capitulate. And this is something that you also see in the broader market, like Coinbase and other companies trying to fire employees. So that is like a ripple effect of what I see coming. So if the miners capitulate, that means they can even send Bitcoins, and we can see somewhat downward action. That is logically what I'm expecting. It may not happen today, tomorrow, or this week. So it can, let's say, take some time, take a month or two. I can't say that. But yeah, things can just change in a tide. So that's a little unfortunate, because I was not thinking us going below this 29,000 at some point. It was very good support. But here we are, guys. I mean, it is what it is. All right. So moving on to the XMR chart. Um, Well, pretty much the same. Somehow all the coins are following the broader market and the Bitcoin. And we have, I think, as I said, some pain is to come. So I would expect a good support around 110 and 120, which has been a historical logarithmic support as well. But we have to see how Monero tests that, because I don't see the strength coming back in Monero as yet, because otherwise we would see some kind of V-shaped recovery. So I would expect that if Bitcoin tumbles down or a broader market tumbles down, then Monero shows strength around the 110 odd region. So we have to see how that plays out. This is the XMR BTC. I think XMR is doing relatively well. I think it's just going tandem with the markets. And couple of more things. This is the Nasdaq market. I think I think all the markets around the globe are oversold at the moment. So we can expect some recovery going forward. But this is tied to something really important, and I'm coming to that in the next one. This is the US interest rate and the US inflation. And you would see from just for the last year or so, the inflation has been going up, and suddenly it has taken up exponential growth. And that is one reason why Fed has been uh, increasing the interest rate. Um, so what happens is people start spending less. The mortgage and loans are very expensive, as in people are not able to afford that. The expenses in the expenditure in the economy is reducing. So that is to fight the inflation. But when are we going to bottom? That's the most important question. So if we see historically, whenever um, the inflation has peaked, right? We don't know where the peak is, so it's just going to probably just go up and up. So whenever the inflation has peaked, that is the time when the bottom happens historically. So you can see that. Let me try to draw that USI. So
Saying when the inflation peaks, the market bottoms.
yeah, that is historically been the thing. So we can we have to see when I think it was 1974 or something that happened. I cannot see that in this chart, but I did see that before that in 1974, for example, the inflation was really high, and when it peaked, that is when the market bottomed. So I don't know if we have really peaked. So if we see logically, the inflation is going up around the globe, and I think there is more inflation to come in the coming time. So as I see I mean, we can go sideways, we can go up, but there is no real incentive for us to, become bullish back again. Let's say I'm like painting a bearish picture, but this is whatever data points I have. Um, but I'm sure there are green days to come going forward. But I think first the inflation has to peak, and I'm keeping an eye on that. That is when I would say the market would reverse.
Do you
Really.
think there'll be some momentum behind the idea of Bitcoin failing as a store of value once it breaches a certain number, and people will begin to lose faith in it for that purpose? Not saying ultimately, there's a death spiral there, but that there'll be some
Wow.
portion of the market that would be like, oh wait, this thing is broken as a store of value because we literally went below, our previous all-time high. So maybe Bitcoin's good for something else, but it's not good for necessarily for being a safe haven from inflation, and it's not necessarily good for being a store of value. Like, do you think
Um,
that
I
meme enter the market at some point?
Yeah, so I think at this point, price is only a consequence. So Bitcoin, like the asset itself, has been a tool of speculation. But I think the only thing when I can think that imagine that happening is when something breaks on the protocol and people start losing faith. So let's say even if we start going below, let's say hypothetically we reach 5,000 levels in Bitcoin. Um, I mean, all the historical indications and all the plan B things, kind of models break down, then we're going to come up with some other model that people are going to say is we're going to go to 500,000. So that number go up. I don't think it's going to go down so soon.
Yeah. Okay. You're saying even if the price goes down that low, the you could still make arguments for why its number go up.
Yeah, I think it's more of psychology of fear and greed because people have been wanting to buy and like, okay, if it goes to 5,000, I'm sure some people will be able to afford and it's going to go back up again. I think the only thing I can see is that the trust going down in the protocol. So that is what I could think of. But price, I think it can take a year or two. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying to see the all-time highs back again. But there are indications that people say that we're going to see 200,000 by end of this year. I don't know. No idea. Uh,
Jesus.
People are good at predictions. And for Monero, again, $110. I'm seeing that level. Uh, Keeping eye on that level. I hope that doesn't break. But if that breaks, then dollars 80 is the $80 is the next level to watch. But I hope we're going to have a bounce back in the coming time because RSI is really really oversold. Whenever we have this, we see a bounce. Yeah, I think yes. I think one more thing just to add. I think I also yes I noticed a couple of things that the Monero's transaction volume almost peaked. We were around 38,000. And why this might have transpired, sorry, and I think why this might have transpired, if you see here, it's almost 38,000, is like
Yeah.
people might be selling their Monero due to fear. bringing it to the exchange. Um,
Wow, you
I
really?
did a few transactions last days. Sorry.
So that's such a pessimistic view of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a guess, but I did a few transactions that day, but that is to buy and send it to my wallet, not to sell. I'm still holding on to my bags.
Right.
Um, so yes,
But you lost all yours though, right? You were telling me how you lost all.
sorry.
You were telling me how you lost all your Monero, right?
Yeah, I was holding on to my bags, but I lost it in a boating accident. I don't know where it is. And the last part is the Mayer multiple. I think I indicated that 0.55 is the lowest I could see. And we are here right now in 0.53 approximately. And I was expecting this to reach in case we reach the 18,000-ish level. 18,000 level for Bitcoin. But I think the capitulation or whatever you call this part happened a little too fast. So yeah, I think we are almost there, but not there. That's what I would think. All right, I think that's all from
All
my
right.
side. Any
Yeah.
questions?
Exciting times for better or worse, right? At least it's
Exciting time in the
certainly
downward
entertaining,
direction.
right? It's certainly entertaining.
Yeah, it is entertaining if you have a lot of cash sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah. How bad do you think the general market's going to get, like inflation and what's your take on the economy in general?
I mean, I think we are in deep shit in a way, but I think governments and they have a plan in place, and they certainly don't want the economy to tumble. Especially everything is related to the U.S. If U.S. economy tumbles, then every other economy has a ripple effect. So I think US is going to do something by raising the interest rate, and when they see the inflation is nearing its peak, I think that is when they're going to start cutting the rates. So I think until then they're going to keep increasing the rates. That's my guess. So
Mhm.
how worse is going to get? I think we might see pain for the next number of months.
How about the bond sell off? Do you have any insight into that? They're saying, we're seeing very large sell off there.
Yeah, I think bonds are also not doing well. So there is certainly sell off, and I think that was the um, like the investors go to asset until some time back. I don't have too much of insight, and I think that is all I know for now.
Okay.
Like for the bonds, but yeah, I can look into that.
Yeah, and if anybody else, wants to jump up later and talk about things like that, definitely people that are, well versed in economics, come on up. Thank you so much, man. Any other comments on
No, I think that's all. I think we are seeing green days in the downward direction.
Yeah. I mean, we're not. I'm not phased at all. I don't know about you. I mean, this is nothing new. If you've been in Monero for a while, crypto for a while, Bitcoin for a while, we were gonna top, and then we were gonna come back down to a bottom, and then start moving back up again. So it's not should have all been expected, right? It's like looking at a roller coaster, and you know how many that there's going to be a next bump in it, but then you're still. It's hard. It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to ignore the shock, but once you're in it for long enough, and once you start valuing your own wealth in Bitcoin or Monero and not in fiat, you don't really care as much because you see this, whatever the amount of Monero you had in your wallet is still there. It's not changing. Everything else around it might be, but if you believe, if you believe in the tech, if your
Hmm.
investment thesis hasn't changed at all, if it's still if you still bought it for the same reasons that still exist, if those
No,
reasons hold, then there should really be no fear.
yeah, I somehow still sleep like a stone, so I'm still doing okay. But it's all green day is always better. And one more thing to see is like whenever we see a final bottom, right? I mean, we always see a V-shaped recovery. If we don't see a V-shaped recovery, then my guess is like we have not seen the bottom yet. So historically, that's always happened in any market. So let's say we have, are going down, but we have not really seen a V-shape where we suddenly come up 20% back up in 24 hours. So if we let's say touch something like 17,000 or something, I would expect that we kick back up to 23, 24 or something in a very short time. So let's see where we go with this, but it's interesting times.
All right, man.
All righty.
All right. Thank
Thank-
you.
Thank you
for
so
joining
much,
us. Thank you for
aFungible. We can't.
waiting.
We could. We're gonna potentially see you, right?
I don't know. Will we?
Potentially see
See you soon, right?
potentially see you soon. Yes.
Maybe, maybe not.
So mysterious.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
The upcoming days.
We'll
Okay,
see you somewhere around the globe
Yeah.
someday.
Ooh, look at that.
Drinks on me. Drinks on me.
All right.
Awesome. All right. See you
All right.
offline.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you so much
Cheers.
for doing that.
Yeah,
That
he's
was
awesome.
good. Yes, he is. It's cool seeing him in person the last time.
Yeah. I'll share more
Um,
time with him.
yeah. All right. So let's move on to our guest segment right now. The Monerotopia guest segment is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Store, send, receive, and exchange your Monero and Bitcoin safely on iOS and Android too. Cake Wallet is open source, and you always control your own keys. Drum roll! What up, dog?
Right.
Hi, Anhdres. How are you?
Let me unmute myself. Hello, how are you?
This was even a
Both.
surprise for me. I didn't
Yeah.
know who our special guest was this week. So this is awesome.
We've been nonstop.
I didn't know either.
I know. Neither did I. What?
Nobody knows. Surprise.
Nobody
it's
knows
like,
anyone. We're all
it's like the
anonymous.
market tanking. It's like, surprise.
Surprise!
You're about to travel abroad and spend Monero. Yeah, surprise. Now it's
Surprise.
for 40% more expensive for you.
Yes.
So, yes.
Put it that
How
way.
are you?
Good,
Good,
good.
man.
How
Good,
are
good.
you? All is
I'm
well?
fine. Doing the last moments arrangements for my trip as well.
I'm
I
sure.
travel tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
It's gonna be a bit weird, right? Like those MoneroKon stuff. Like with aFungible, you're going to meet a lot of people that may or may not be
Present.
people that you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right.
exactly.
It's like-
That's always the best part, you know?
even if they introduce themselves as
Yeah.
being such. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
like
probably
putting
I
your face to
gonna
a voice.
probably meet 4 of them, and 4 of them could be I'm aFungible. I said, sure, why
It's
not?
true. I don't know.
That's
Different
the Monero
accents,
way.
but yeah,
The,
sure,
the
sure.
best was Crypto Bear at Monerotopia, who showed up in costume.
Yeah, he was
spent
covered.
the whole day there.
I don't know how he was not
Even
melting.
he was even selling T-shirts. Never took off his plastic gloves on his hands, his full mask.
glasses. He had
And
a
then he
handkerchief.
performed. He performed for like a half hour, and he never
He
never
was
gave
We
it-
never
gave it
saw
away.
him.
Bear custom in Miami.
in Miami.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. And it was hot, man. It was
I
hot
don't
because
know
we had the
how he
doors
did that.
open.
And then he performed like a
Yeah.
maniac on stage. I was like, this guy's gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's
That was
like
impressive.
here in Argentina. I mean, at least in the southern hemisphere, Christmas is in summer for us, but we still have the whole Santa thing and the
Oh, in the summer.
costumes,
Right,
So-
right. Doesn't
so-
really.
which is clearly was designed for like Northern Europe stuff, right? So
Big long
here
beard.
you have all the Santas in the malls and all that.
Oh my God.
Sweating.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I'm
uh,
sure. Sure, Santa has
hits.
lots of shorts on and tank tops.
Yes.
You would
And
think
December
the
here
would
is
have
like
changed a little bit, you know? I guess it hasn't been long enough yet. Another
we need
1,000
to,
years.
yeah, we need to, I don't know, come up with like a holiday Santa or something that is in shorts but here people is like with beard and all.
It's like, mommy, why
Pussy.
is Santa sweating?
It's so crazy. So yeah, this is kind of like that.
That's
So this is going to be MoneroKon, like the Titanic edition. Everything is
The Titanic.
perfect timing.
perfect timing.
Yes.
Perfect timing for
Perfect.
everybody to say like we are not in this for the money. We just
yeah, only
Yeah.
Monero. Exactly. It's perfect with the brand, right? It's
yes, totally.
like Monero, this is when
Look
Monero
at us.
is ready to spend money on a ticket, go hang out with other Monero people.
Everybody's laying people off or closing projects and all that,
Yeah,
and we
closing
just
projects.
party.
Changes.
Right.
Like, yeah, the price is lower. Let's make a big event about it.
I'm glad we don't have to talk about price.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least for 2 days.
I think it's great timing. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Super excited to go to Portugal. Never been.
I've been.
And the lineup looks amazing. Like,
You're
I'll be honest
speaking
with
to,
you.
right?
When after we did Monerotopia, we were like a little Monero'd out, right? We were like, all right, we just got our full of Monero. It was like a you know, it was a
But it's
marathon.
enough Monero for a year.
Yeah. And then
then a month and a half later,
MoneroKon was coming up, and it was like I'm right back at like 0 again. I'm ready for. It was like I haven't been at a conference in a year, so.
Also, I mean, you were hosting it kind of, so it's not like you actually was able to watch.
Shows my
It's
love.
a bit different for you.
And it'll be better this time because now we get to enjoy
now we
all the
actually
content.
get to watch it.
So we're going to interview everybody that talks, you know, so we'll just be able to talk to all the speakers. At the conference, we didn't really even get to like watch our own
basically, if it flops, it's not your fault this time.
Yes.
But we get to be, you know,
we
get to enjoy.
You even get to laugh.
We get to enjoy it as a guest.
This shitty conference. I didn't organize this
guest
one.
volunteer. We're also helping out too. So
we'll come home. You know.
We're also helping them out too. So
obviously.
But me too. I am on the volunteer list. So
it was fun the last time. We did it for DEF CON and I mean all the other conferences, and it's always fun because you get to hang out with everyone and you know.
I'm trying to get access to everybody's slides before, so I could like look at them on the plane, so then I could ask good questions, you know, after they get off stage. I guess see if I could
pull that off.
Are you one of the speakers?
You are.
I am.
Right.
Awesome, man. What's your talking to be on?
That's why the lineup is much better than in Well, no, I'm talking about Monero, of course.
What's up?
Right. What's anything in particular? Or just
it's kind of tricky because as I think we discussed before, it's a bit tricky to know, at least for me beforehand, what is the people of the conference be like? I mean, the level. I mean, I don't know if it's super technical or if it's basic. I don't think it's going to be basic if you're moving to Portugal just to see a Monero conference.
No, it's going to be technical, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So assuming I'm talking from my side, okay. So assuming people that are in the Monero conference already know what Monero basically is, I'm going to try not to explain what it is and talk a bit more about what is the things that we believe in the team on, the way that we see the world, basically, and the current set of events or realities, and how that affects the decisions that we take in the design or coding stages for Monero. So it's a bit tricky to do that talk, but I will do my best.
Awesome.
We'll be there.
You're right.
And I would gladly send you the slides for
nice
for your plane.
Yeah.
As long as I have them ready.
I know that's also a problem. I remember from
I have to finish them before my plane.
I know, yeah, that's the only thing. Like I wouldn't have them
not
ready.
everyone.
You're going to be doing them on the plane.
Yeah.
Not
everyone.
So I know that the deadline is tomorrow, but tomorrow I will be flying, so I will try my best to have them.
Just send the title.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
It's going to be fun.
I can't wait to get that.
And now speaking seriously, I mean, I'm really sorry that I missed Monerotopia. I wanted to be there. But I think it would be interesting to know after the fact your opinion on the differences between both conferences. Because on one hand, it's like 2 Monero conferences in the same year. But after COVID, we had such a need for personal contact in a way. And it would be interesting to see more than one Monero conference pop up and having them like different flavors. You know what I mean? Like more like this, more like that.
I have my predictions of what the differences were going to be, but I'm curious to see. I mean, we were trying to go more.
You want to share them? You want to do like a little bet of?
A bet? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like bet, but I mean, why? What are you thinking? Yeah. So what's your thought? You haven't been. You haven't been to Monerotopia. You can't even say.
Yeah, we have a few people that are going to MoneroKon that went to Monerotopia. So if anything, we'll ask them. To be honest.
Yeah. I cannot compare because I haven't been to the other one. So
we'll compare after the fact.
After the fact.
Yes.
I
So
mean,
stay
MoneroKon
tuned
will be
for
more
our
organized.
opinions.
I'll give you that one. Definitely more organized.
Even though,
So
yeah, they're
it'll be
very organized. Oh my
yeah.
God. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of people. So
It surprised me the amount of. I mean, in retrospective, it sounds super logical, but it surprised me the amount of organizing that goes into a conference. Yes.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
they're doing some similar things, like they're mixing in the entertainment with the conference itself. So that's going to be pretty
Yeah,
similar.
because
And then like the vendors and things like that. So
yeah, there are
I
a few
mean, they're gonna
similarities.
kind of they're pretty similar concepts at the end of the day. I think MoneroKon obviously is gonna have a higher technical speaker list, more research focused, which is awesome. But obviously we're pulling for that at ours too. But we'll see what that turns into. Who knows?
Yeah. I think only time will tell, and I hope
only
that
time will tell.
both conferences, or even more than two conferences, arise, and eventually, with time, it's super clear for everybody, like how this one is. Or
Yeah.
you don't want to miss any of them because one is more like party focus, or maybe more on the community building side of stuff, and the other one is more like technical. I really don't know.
Like the vision with Monerotopia is more of a festival, more of a liberty freedom festival, where Monero is the primary technology that we're all excited about, because that's kind of like the best one to use for maximizing your future liberty. But then things being built around that, so people just coming out to be free, act free, spend their Monero. Kind of more like the Burning Man for Monero is I would say the direction, but we'll see where it goes.
Or to live at least for 1 day or 2 days, whatever. Like in a Monerotopia, basically.
Right, exactly.
In Monero land.
And Monero land.
In Monero land. Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it's going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be interesting as well in this context of bear market-ish. Because I don't know. I mean, if you evaluate all this and you are thinking about Monero or crypto in general as an investment, kind of like as a security, is how much I believe in the returns of the, I don't know, Monero team or Monero community, you should be worried right now, I think. But if you believe, as I do at least, or I think you do as well, that Monero is just a better form of money, be chill. I mean, I live in a country with 60% of inflation right now. So, the exchange is the exchange. Basically, you're looking at exchange rate. It's not like a price. If it's a currency, it's exchange rate. And exchange rate changes from day to day. So maybe you lose money one day if you change it the other. But if you see it on the long run, the shittiest money is the worst money, and eventually they go down in price. So if people is worried about it's not financial advice, but if people is worried about the USD price of Monero, I am not. I mean,
yeah, definitely not. I mean, the transaction count looking as good as ever right now. And just the general vibe out there with regards to Monero in the crypto community, you're seeing a lot of, influential Bitcoiners go from ignoring it to now talking about it to now, there's always been the OGs have always said like it's not a shit coin, but now you're seeing that meme spread a little bit beyond to where people are like, oh yeah, no, I respect Monero, or if you have to do private transactions, use Monero. So Monero is strong, but as strong as it's ever been right now in terms of like fundamentals and actual usage and adoption. I feel like we're higher than ever. I don't see a dip there. And for me, that's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah, because it's technically better than ever was before.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not the only thing that matters. Price matters because basically the way that cryptocurrencies work, price basically sustains the ecosystems and is part of the incentives that make miners work and miners give consensus and all that. So it's not like it's not important. It's part of the puzzle. but
Some
Monero is getting better all the time. So
somebody just commented Monerotopia that equals privacy required, clothing optional. That's a pretty good vision to try to live up to. I like
Really?
it. We'll keep that in mind.
And
That'll
then
be our
next one,
tagline.
nude beach.
yeah,
Wear
We
clothes.
could make it
I
work in
agree.
Spain. We could definitely make it work in Spain.
it is not going to be that painful in Lisbon because it's summer there, it's like 30 something. So,
Yeah, it's really
but
nice.
it's all right. New York in winter, not so much a
It's
Monerotopia naked
No,
place.
not so much.
Should we run through the news real fast? Or we didn't really prepare, but if you want to pull up. Andreas, can you hang out a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. All righty. And now for our weekly news segment. I'm gonna go to. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't prepare any news this week because we're doing it on a weekday. Normally, I do this Saturday mornings while I'm getting ready. But what do we got here?
Here's the top
let's look at
news.
the. I can't really hold on a sec.
I have it on the screen.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say over there. Basically, just look at the top tweets for the week with regards to Monero. So the first one was from Morpheus. While people panic, this is basically what we were just saying. Just remember that the Monero currently has 13.8% of Bitcoin's transaction, while only just 0.5% of its market cap. People complain that they couldn't buy XMR at 128. Now they can. Are you buying Anon, or are you just going to keep complaining? I mean, that sums it up. So, it's like the second greatest opportunity of all time. So anybody that was like in Bitcoin, and wish that they could have bought Bitcoin early when it was, at $100. That's what Monero is looking like right now. I'm not saying, it's going to replace Bitcoin, but it's like the technology has pretty much proven itself at this point and has gained traction and seemingly network effect for its use case. And so now it's just be happy that you could acquire some at a decent price is the way I look at it. Next one is Justin sent out a tweet. Oh, this was in regards to, this is big news for the day. Andreas, I'd like to hear your opinion of this. Haveno, because of the current low value of Monero compared to the rate at which we opened our CCS proposal, we are forced to temporarily pause the development of Haveno's user interface. So basically, they got their funding in Monero, and because the price of Monero dropped, they're saying they need more funds to keep development going. Andreas, we could talk about that once we finish up the news here. Curious to hear what your opinion is. And Justin tweeted as well and basically saying this is a good example of where you might want to start using something like Magic Monero Fund, which is a nonprofit that basically allows you to raise funds for Monero projects and keep it stable in fiat. And then I think that's it. Let's close it out that for the week.
And that was it.
Yeah, because the rest of the news were all bad. So
rest of the news is MoneroKon this week, and the price of
everything crashed,
completely, utterly crashed. Those are the big stories.
But hey, compared to some other like very hot blockchains, Monero keeps running all the time, not like Solana and stuff like that. So I call it
better
like
than
a
Luna,
victory.
right? At least we got that going. Not as bad as Luna, guys. Come on.
That's a good tagline for the MoneroKon itself. Like, at least we are not Luna.
Right. The evil coins aren't all they're cracked up to be. A little volatility ain't too bad. At least it's not going to zero.
You want my opinion on the whole CCC thing? Or CCS?
CCS. CCS in particular.
I always mix that with CSS. So CCS. I am sorry for the Haveno guys, but you should. I mean, I agree with Justin in here. I know that this is like a hot take, but if you care about the volatility, I'm not saying that you should use the Magic Fund. I think the Magic Funds. Let's back that. I mean, the more ways to finance Monero stuff that there are, the better, right? The Magic Fund, the CCS, the XMR radio funding page. I think there was one with I don't know, hentai or Monero chicks on Japanese style as well, and the Moneruyo funding is another example of that, right? So if we say we believe in decentralization, the more the better, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just saying. So just to start, so I think that all of them has a place in the community. I don't think that the Haveno group should have used the Magic Fund itself. But say that if you are raising funds, and if you're raising funds in Monero, which you know that is volatile, if it fails, right? Because otherwise we end up in a situation kind of like the bailouts that we dislike so much of the banks, then when everything goes well and the banks are making a lot of money, it's all for the banks, and when they are losing a lot of money, government has to step in and contribute more and print more money so they don't go bankrupt, right? So this is kind of the same situation for me. If Haveno asks for money and they pledge to do X amount of work, they should do it. And if they don't, at least they should not say it. Basically, keep it quiet, keep working, and hope for the better, right? But that's what we are doing. We receive donations in XMR, in Moneruyo. We don't convert them immediately to cash or whatever. So I can say that.
Yeah, I mean, I have opinions there too. We right, Sunil? I mean, we raised our CCS fund. Monero was at like 300, 290.
Yeah.
Not to mention we haven't even started trying to collect on it yet because we just want to, make sure we're, asking for payment based on enough progress. That's the way we're looking at it. Which I think we're there. I think we've, proven ourselves. We were a little worried about it in the beginning, but we've accomplished a lot. And now we'll go and we'll say, hey, we want to get paid for whatever our, a quarter of our funds in the next quarter. But we totally went in it valuing it in Monero, so like I valued, that was the value I put on it based on Monero, and I was totally cognizant of the fact that it could go back down to $20, and also cognizant of the fact that it could go, potentially go up to 1,000. And so, I don't think people that aren't cognizant of that or are okay with that shouldn't use the CCS. But it attracts a certain type of person and a certain type of project because now this is somebody who's completely invested in Monero, and it's nice to see, right? Because now it's like you don't care about the price, you're just value Monero so much that you're willing to just be okay with the volatility. So I think the CCS is good for those type of projects. And I'm not saying those guys aren't super passionate about what they're doing, but maybe, part of it is because it seems like where they're running into an issue is they hired devs to do the user interface, which is awesome. They need devs. Maybe they should have hired Monero accepting debt, like people that were into Monero. Like I'm sure within our community, there's people that would love to accept Monero to do that work. Are these guys the only guys that were, that they could find to do it? Like they should have, if you're raising your funds in Monero, then you should trying to be paying out. But if you're going to have consultants working on it, you should be getting them to accept the Monero risk as well and get payment in Monero. And I think there would be enough people willing to do that. I could be wrong, but
I don't know how many people are willing to do that. But I mean, of course,
the core devs working on Haveno are completely fine with it, right? That's not the issue, is my understanding.
It's also an investment from the side. I mean, I don't know how Haveno works internally, really. I mean, I think that the thing that they did, trying to come up with a better CCS that they had initially, was good, and albeit it's a bit complicated the way that set up the whole thing with the payments and all that. It's better than that they were doing before. But if you get payments in one moment and you want to speculate with the Monero rising in price afterwards, you have to have to bear if the things go the other way. It's just your fault. For example, I mean, I do work, and I sometimes work for Monero. Just as you said, the way that I price my work, it kind of has something to do with the real USD denominated price that I put my other work in. But once that I set that price in, it's basically Monero.
Yeah.
Even if it's 1 month later that I can end up cashing it, it's better, it's worse. Sometimes it's worse. And I really don't mind. But at the same time, I manage my finances in a way that is not the only income that I depend on. So I try to be thoughtful somehow of people that are really doing projects that take 100% of their time and value them in Monero. Maybe it's not that fair. But if you are in that position, I think that you should take all the precautions needed to ensure that you have at least the money that you need. So if you receive the first payment, you immediately convert it to the whatever fiat coin that you like, or you use in your jurisdiction, and that's all. You cannot argue more. You miss all the beautiful gains of Monero that always brings. But especially if you have people like hired below you, I mean, that's a responsibility that you have to take.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is easy by any means. I don't know the financials inside of having a team whatsoever, but asking twice for more money for the same product to the same community is kind of maybe it's even better in my opinion. It's even better to stall development until you can resume it again. If you are dealing with providers, I mean, right? With
right. That would make sense, right? Because that's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of why
it's not ideal, but it's
delayed starting to build, because we wanted to make sure we built up enough work that we felt we earned that, that Monero. So yeah, they could take that. I would hate to see that though, right? We don't want to see this element of that slowing down, but I think they'll figure it out. I think it'll be fine. Just interesting to see. And it's a good conversation to have. And I totally agree with you. There's going to be these different ways of funding things. If this is completely free, open source project, right? People are going to be, integrating with it in different ways. So if somebody wants to go out there and do some Monero project, they're free to fund it in any way they wish. You don't have to fund it if you don't like the project, but they're free to do whatever project they want to attempt to do and fund it with any means they want. So we're just going to be seeing more of that. So I think the more options, the better. Somebody's saying, I want MoneroKon, right? Because they raised their funds through the CCS. I guess they're fine. I mean, they raised a lot of Monero. I think they were, I don't know if they were cashing out. I guess they're obviously probably paying already a lot of expenses they've probably already paid.
I think so.
Yeah.
And stuff like the Magic Funds, I think, for example, is a great use case is grants. I mean, continuous grants. I mean, if you have researchers that probably want to get paid monthly and use the 100% of their time making technologies for Monero, this is the best use case for that. I mean,
yeah,
you know that you're getting that every month and you're doing your work.
Well, we did Monerotopia. All the lion's share of ticket revenue was in Monero. A lot of the sponsors paid Monero, and we realized the risk because we had a lot of expenses that went with that.
Yeah, expenses in the real world.
Yes,
they don't want Monero.
We were willing to, spend. We saw like, what if Monero goes to zero? Would be fine. Yeah, we'll use our, our fiat, and we'll have our Monero for later. So, I mean, these things people got to think about. It seems pretty basic.
It's the tricky part, but there's not much that we can do about it. Please don't invent some kind of algorithmic stable coin in Monero or something like that. Please don't. Just don't.
Of a similar name.
Yes, of whatever. But
Haven. It's a Haven.
Okay. I don't know enough about Havens to give like a super technical opinion, but
maybe
it works.
You literally described Haven. You literally
yes, I know, but maybe it works. I don't know.
We don't know. Nobody knows yet.
I don't want to get all the hate.
Talk about a gamble. Yeah,
Haven, yes. To me, Monero is a good value proposition. And hopefully we will see the price rise into the occasion. But eventually the volatility, even for the upside, should diminish, and for downside as well, as long as we can get people to actually use it. So we are looking for a bright future if we manage to do that.
I have a comment from someone from the MoneroKon, whatever, managing board or whatever. Yeah, they said for MoneroKon, we cashed out everything to Euro as soon as CCS was funded. So
wow.
They cashed everything.
How did they? Who was it? I love it. They reached out to us.
That's the way you do it.
That's how there's that organized.
That's the way
They
you do
are very organized. That is
all the bills in Euro.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Who was that agent?
I can't. I don't know, but yes.
You never know what you can and cannot.
I don't know, but
We didn't see
respect to everyone. Someone
Delete
told
the
me
message.
No, I know this person works a lot.
Someone in the chat room is asking where I am from.
Oh yes,
I am from Spain or Portugal. No, not at all. I am from Argentina.
Look, he's
Argentina.
Argentina.
He felt insulted by that. How do you not know?
No, not at all.
Not know this man.
España. You don't have the list.
I just talk worse Spanish than they are Spaniards. That's all. Like a fake Italian Spanish.
Yeah, I saw people were like trying to guess where you're from. That's so funny. No.
I use the hands like an Italian and speak like an Spanish.
Yes. You're mixed. You're just confused. That's fine. All right, shall we do
good Italian food in Argentina?
Oh sure. Yeah, delicious.
Yeah.
Really good.
I was very impressed.
Yeah.
And the steak, obviously.
Oh yeah, obviously. Steak and food. It's just beautiful.
Steak.
All right, that's where we're going next.
Soccer.
So good. I like soccer. Of course, Argentinians and soccer.
Soccer.
He's getting all excited over here. Whoa,
I know.
Whoa.
I love Latin America. What do you want from my life? I love it. I love it. I love the people. I love the food.
So do I.
It's just so
You
fun.
marry the Latin girl. So
yeah, she's like,
obviously.
hey, like I like.
What's the whole purpose of that?
And I'm a mix too. I got the Indian side too. So I love spicy. I love my India too. I love my Puerto Rico. I love everyone. All right, let's move. All right, let's move on to the viewer segment because there are a few people.
Speaking of loving everyone,
all right,
come on up, guys.
And now for our weekly news. My apologies, wrong one. It's the Viewers on Stage segment. It's that time where we invite you, the viewers, up on stage to comment on anything you've heard so far today, ask the guest a question, or maybe talk about one of the news topics. Come on down. I think you made fun of me the last time too. I know. It's an annoying.
That's gonna be like that's gonna be. People are gonna know that. It's gonna be like worldwide.
I was thinking of like redoing it. The audio. Anywho's, all right. Hi, people on stage, individual A and MB. How do you do?
What's going on, guys?
Hi. It's my mic. Right?
Yes, your
mic
is on.
You're good, man. Okay. What's going on, MB?
Oh, doing fine. I wanted to say you asked about the MoneroKon. They financed it. Basically, they got the Monero and they sold it through one of the organizers. They had a company called Digital Renegades. They sold it through that. I think it was very transparent as well.
Awesome. Okay.
Very awesome. Well, thank you for clarifying that.
So, what else? Anything else you could say about the conference? Anything else you want to?
I actually was accepted as a person holding a talk, but I didn't check my email, so I missed the deadline.
Oh no!
So you want to give your talk right now, live on Monerotopia?
I didn't prepare anything.
Just kidding. Oh shit, man, that sucks. Were you upset about that?
It was not that nice to see the email. See that I missed it.
Oh no. Huh. I'm surprised. I guess they had a lot of people submit.
They opened the submissions quite some time ago, and then I just forgot about it because nothing happened.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of speakers, but they're doing it over 2 days, which is nice. That's also definitely improvement over Monerotopia, doing it over 2 days.
Yeah, ours was like nonstop. You would have been exhausted on this.
It was more of a...
It was from 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. So kudos to those that actually stayed.
Yeah.
I mean, people did leave and come back, but everyone came back.
Individual A, what's going on, man?
Well, sorry I missed half of the show. I just came back home and stumbled upon your show, but felt like hopping on, especially since I'm going to be in Portugal as well. I'm looking forward to meet you guys.
Oh, nice.
Awesome, man.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, let's chill.
I know it's pretty awesome to like finally like, meet people like in person instead of, so we call you our,
And I do
all our digital friends, our internet friends.
And B, maybe like what's the setup going to be? They're going to have like vendors and stuff there, right? So like people will be hanging out the whole day. Like we'll be able to grab a drink.
So I know that they have like a pizza oven and some food truck as well.
Mm-hmm.
They have it on site there.
Do we have to bring our own mezcal, or is it?
Oh goodness gracious!
Can we sell mezcal at the conference alongside coffee? Is that? I guess we shouldn't ask, right? We should just.
Well, now you outed yourself.
Ask for forgiveness.
You just outed yourself, and they'll be live streaming for those of you that can't make it in person.
Well, are you selling coffee?
We're
yes.
Aiming to do that.
Yeah, we are.
We are aiming to do that.
What's his name? They know, right? Who did we tell? We told.
No, they know. Minipoet.
Minipoet knows.
Yeah, we know.
I mean, we're not going to. I know they'll have coffee there. We're going to do. We're going to bring our freshly. We have a guy in Portugal who will also be at the conference. Who we sent a roaster to because he's going to be one of our roasting nodes as we expand Gratuitous. So we have a roasting node in the U.S. and now we'll have one in Europe. So that'll be cheaper for us to send out freshly roasted beans. So we have him set up. We sent him a roaster, and now we're bringing the first batch of beans with us, and then we'll be sending him beans in the future. But long story short, he'll be there at the conference selling freshly roasted beans, and then we'll be doing like pour overs with the beans.
Your window of opportunity is Sunday morning.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Saturday night there is a party.
But you know
4
what?
a.m. or something.
You guys are gonna like the coffee has gotten really good with the fresh roasting. Hopefully this guy does a decent job. He's kind of learning on the job, but
we're literally meeting him to teach him how to do it.
But Neil picked it up. It's pretty basic.
Yeah,
it's pretty basic. The machine does the work.
Well, we'll see, but just see us in the corner. Just smell the coffee from the roaster.
No, we're not bringing the roaster. We're not bringing.
Oh, you're not doing it this time. No. Wow, surprising.
We'll have them just because that's gonna be a pain.
Yeah, but that's hysterical.
Can I ask something to MB here?
Yeah.
What was your talk about?
It was about marketing Monero, like what Cake Wallet is doing and like the community is doing themselves. Yeah.
It was just kind of analysis of what's currently being done, or with recommendations?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, just showing what's going on, but it's scrapped now, so maybe next year.
Okay, yeah. If you ever want to do a Monero talk about it or something, let me know.
Sure.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Anybody else want to throw any comments out there? We've been going for over an hour. You guys have any comment on the recent CCS thing with Haveno?
Oh, we got Tony.
Well, I do agree with Anhdres, just what he said. They should have swapped it to fiat if they need to pay in fiat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was some discussion on the matrix, and in my opinion, there should be, if you have like a larger CCS above a certain amount, you should have like a sell-off plan as well. Like either you say we're liquidating everything as soon as we have enough money, or you sell 10% every day for a week or something like that.
The point is that you should have a plan. That's what it is. If you sell all or if you sell partly, or when there are price swings or whatever, not. But having no plan and then run dry is
Yeah. Totally agree. All right, we got now the show's not ending anytime soon. We got Tony. What's going on, man?
Hey guys. So
hello.
Hello. So a couple updates about the DJing. So I actually found a
nice.
company.
Updates. What do you got?
Yes, so actually, I found a company from which we can rent a DJ set. So we only need a skilled person. We can actually rent a DJ set.
Beautiful.
It's near the airport. So worst case, we can get that and just a skilled person. So in case someone is interested but they can't carry their equipment, we can actually rent it. It's kind of cheap. So there we go.
Yes, anybody that wants to be our DJ. I don't know if Andres, if you heard what we were talking about earlier. We're gonna do these little. We're gonna do little mini Monerotopia events. Monerotopia tunes, we're calling it, and it's going to be electronic music events that people can show up. They pay Monero to attend, and then we're going to, it's going to be done at beautiful locations. I don't know if you've ever seen Circle. It's entertaining, and then we're going to use, get quality DJ and quality videographers to film it with drones, and then we'll put it up on a channel, and you can tip the DJs and the production staff if you're enjoying your 1 hour DJ session in your living room. But we're trying to do the first one in Mallorca alongside another conference that's coming
the Mallorca
up.
blockchain.
And so
days.
Anybody that's interested in potentially being a DJ there, reach out to us if you're in the area, if you're in Spain, not anywhere in Europe, anywhere in the world. We could let us know. Reach out if you want to be the first Monerotopia tunes DJ, and you think you got the stuff to make for an awesome video. Reach out, and then videographers. So that would probably be actually. I mean, I guess that could be anyone, anywhere too, but probably somebody in Spain would be better. Be cheaper to finance. Yeah.
Which are the dates for the event in Mallorca?
It's
July 14th for the 17th.
17th. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll probably do the event on that Saturday night. They know we started telling them about it. They said that'd probably be a good night to do it. The Mallorca conference looks amazing, by the way. Yeah, anybody that's one to keep an eye on, guys. If you're not going to MoneroKon, or if you are and you have time for another crypto event, it actually looks super chill. Nam is going to be giving a talk there. Seth for Privacy might be giving a talk there. I'll be giving a talk there. It should be very cool. And you can come to the live Monerotopia Tunes event. If Tony can get it off the ground, right?
Yes.
I think we could do it. I don't think it's... Yeah. The real key is going to be finding a good location, right?
So...
Andreas doesn't necessarily... He sees a lot of other things that could potentially go wrong.
No. I was thinking... It should not be a problem in Mallorca to find a good looking
right. I feel like anything is beautiful. That's what I said. I'm like just rent an Airbnb and we'll just go on the rooftop. We don't even have to tell them. We just show up on the rooftop.
Actually, yeah, good idea. Because I contacted a couple hotels and the city hall just to see hey, can we do something like this in a public space? Maybe by the beach or in that little castle that I showed you earlier today. But worst case, we can get an Airbnb, because when I was looking on Google Earth, there were so many Airbnbs with pools. There were so many pools.
Yeah. Of course.
So
water, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think we can definitely do it. And say worst case, somehow we didn't find a DJ. Sunita, and we're gonna put you on
do it in our hotel room. We just dancing.
No, it's
flash the lights in the room.
Actually, if you look at the early Circle videos, that is literally how they started. It was filming a DJ at a location, not a nice location. It was
it was just like a club.
It was just
actually, like a tiny club. That's hilarious. But
we'll try to go.
We'll try to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
We'll make it work. But all righty.
Awesome, guys. Yeah. Anybody else want to bring anything up before we close it out?
Go.
Actually, one more thing. Yes. So today we held a Monero space on Twitter, me and Stoic Hodler.
Yeah.
And it was super good. We had so many cool conversations. Bitcoin maxis came that were pretty popular, came on, and we discussed Monero versus Bitcoin. It was very, very interesting. Mono, if you're watching, he was amazing. At some point, he was against 3-4 Bitcoin maxis in the same time. And he was shooting arguments with everyone, and he was handling everyone. it was a great space. Everyone learned a lot of things. I've seen people quoting from the space on Twitter.
Yeah, that
everyone
was
enjoyed it.
Good job.
Yeah,
I missed the first half of it, but I
that was
jumped
pretty
in.
intense.
I jumped in. Who ran it? You started it? Did you start it?
Me and Stoic.
Or was Stoic? You and Stoic. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, give me a heads up next time, man.
Sure.
But yeah, I jumped in and it was pretty impressive what you guys. And then we stayed from the point I jumped in. It was like another 2 hours. So you guys went for
5 hours.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, at one point we kind of like there was like a lot of repetition because we were talking to that one guy who just couldn't get over the concept of fungibility and like just refused to give up on the fact that Bitcoin isn't fungible, and he refuses to give into that. Yet he believes in in privacy and using privacy tools for Bitcoin, but not because it's solving its fungibility issue. It's because of privacy. It's like and then that discussion I think happened like for an hour. It was just like back and forth. But people, I felt like not necessarily watching minds change, but it was interesting. It was all positive, right? Everybody was positive and open to learning about Monero. So it's exciting to see. Good job, man.
No, yeah, it was very cool. We had Untraceable coming in, Rafael coming in at some point, Mano, you came in. We had quite a few people. And actually the same guy that you were arguing with, he tweeted, "Is Bitcoin fungible?" And he made like a little poll.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Person.
I mean, what are people's opinions in this room? I don't know. Maybe does anybody here think Bitcoin is fungible? Is there an argument to be made that Bitcoin is fungible?
I gotta go.
Not at all.
Andreas, what do you
Can
think?
I think it's fungible until it is not anymore. I mean, technically, no, it's not fungible. But again, technically, fiat isn't money as well. So either so, and everybody believes it to be so. So the only part of the Bitcoin Maxi idea that they say about fungibility is that but everybody treats it like fungible. It's fungible by de facto fungible.
Yeah,
and to that I would say maybe you're right until you are not anymore.
Yeah, the problem is the permanent record. The permanent record of transactions is the problem. It's fungible until it's not, because at that point when you can trace it back, and then you have trouble. If you don't trace it, then it's fungible, but somebody can trace it and you never know. So
right,
at one point they knock on your door, so what's the point? I mean, every dollar has a serial number, but it's not on record. So a dollar is fungible because we don't record the wallet in which the dollar resided for what time and which serial number the dollar had in your wallet. We don't record that. So this is why the dollar is fungible. But the bloody Bitcoin, it's a permanent public record. So no, it's not fungible.
Yeah,
I think Bitcoin being transparent is so useful. Let's put the tinfoil hat, like Illuminati style here, right? Bitcoin being so transparent is so useful for the governments or the companies or whatever, that I think my opinion is that eventually people in charge are going to make a trade, right? It's like, well, we cannot emit money as much as we were doing before. So yeah, we are losing the printing press, but at least we keep the surveillance part of it, right?
Yeah.
And the censorship part of it. So we are going to like compromise.
And the unrealized capital gains part, right? And like
stuff like that. Yes, they're going to try. Yeah, they're going to try. So I think that's where the lack of fungibility, the technical fungibility, is going to show up in Bitcoin. But I'm guessing that, as most things in life is not so clear cut, so black and white, and I see that maybe you get more fungible Bitcoin for the people in a way because nobody cares. just like here, for example, here in Argentina, black market is super big. It's like half of the economy is in cash without taxes, right? So maybe Bitcoin reaches that stage, right? If it's super adopted and it's super wide, maybe it's not fungible, but yeah, in the streets, people don't care where your Bitcoin comes from. But as soon as you step into a Bitcoin bank or you try to pay your taxes with Bitcoin or something like that, you're in big trouble. So I'm sure that you will get different prices for Bitcoin like that. It's a mess, but hey, life is a mess sometimes. Most times, a mess. So it's like, I don't think it's going to be like Bitcoin doesn't work and Monero is the only solution. I think they will try to make it possible and to make it kind of work, so they keep some control about it and some surveillance. But hey, the more people on Monero, the better, right?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, these are like the main arguments that are made in Bitcoin land right now with regards to why Monero is irrelevant, right? It's that, all right, so actually Bitcoin actually is fungible, doesn't have a fungibility problem. There's that. There's once they start to concede that, they're like, oh yeah, but it's not good money because it's not perfect money because it's not capped. So it's the whole 21 million cap, and they just can't get over Monero's inflation. They can't comprehend the fact that Monero's inflation trends to zero. They can't or refuse to think about it. Understand that Monero, just because the supply is infinite over an infinite span of time, it's not infinite at any moment in time. In fact, it's currently more scarce than Bitcoin. And so there's just so many that people in Bitcoin that get tripped up over that. Most of the, the noobs that haven't stopped to think about it. And I would say, those are the primary arguments. And then the other one being, just use Monero if you need privacy, but it's just a tool. It shouldn't be considered, a store value or anything like that. Those are the biggest things I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right, Tony? What would you say were the biggest criticisms that you heard today, or hiccups that people were having, in terms of not being able to give Monero a chance?
We touched on so many subjects. We touched on all the points that Anhdres and you said. For example, we touched about fungibility and how essentially, and actually even KYC, and how it doesn't matter if you get KYC because you can just coin join eventually and then lose that traceability and then just put it in some wallet. They were arguing for that. Then they were arguing against the soft cap. They were arguing for the hard cap, the 21 million, and why it should be this way. Also, of course, they were arguing for Bitcoin being censorship resistant and stuff like that. There were so many discussions, so many discussions. But we touched every single possible question and argument that the Bitcoin side and the Monero side have against each other in those 5 hours.
Yeah, then the other major two are, trust, right? You can't trust Monero because it can't be audited, is, the belief, the false belief, because it's not transparent. And what was another one that popped into my head? I guess those are the biggest, right? I'd say those are the biggest ones.
I know for a couple of things, we talked for a long time. Fungibility was a huge, long topic, as you know. Then what other concerns? We actually had a couple of Bitcoin people admit that Monero is actually good and obviously it's not a shitcoin, and that it should be like rank number 2. We had someone say that from the Bitcoin side, which was interesting. But I mean, ultimately, I told everyone too, may the best technology win. I mean, we are all against what the government is doing, and we all try to have a better life, a better private life. So if we have this goal together, let's just discuss nicely from both sides, and
for sure, it's working. Yeah, people will find their way.
Yeah, so we're gonna host more of these spaces because they were actually pretty nice, and people reached back to me, and then they were saying how good it was. We had a guy from France. He's pretty vocal in Monero, and he messaged me saying, "Wow, this was pretty cool," because you don't really see many Monero Twitter spaces. So please, everyone, next time, join. You can be a speaker, of course. Join us on our side. Help us defend our points, because we need a lot of help. This time, we had Doug and Mano, and they were getting attacked by a bunch of questions. And Rafael stepped in and some other people, but come on, let's bring it on, and let's see cool stuff.
Bring it on.
For me, it's tough because I was at work, so I'm like half listening. It's pretty hard to do, but I'm gonna start doing some on my ride home, like 5 p.m. I'm gonna start maybe doing spaces that way. That'll be fun. Makes the ride entertaining too.
Yeah, even maybe next time we can just name it, because we named it Monero, but it became Monero versus Bitcoin.
That's inevitably what they become. It's pretty much every time. It's it's no fault of ours, but that's where the conversation is going to lead when you're talking about this tech, right? Because you're comparing. You got to compare it to other things. So,
yeah.
Any other points people want to make before we close it out?
Yeah, you wanted to talk about Monero's problems, and so this one's kind of solved. It's a little bit hacky. The 20-minute lock time, this is actually relevant for the people going to MoneroKon who might want to pay with Monero. And just send yourself a couple transactions before going, so you split your outputs, so you can actually avoid the lock time. Anhdres, you're working on something there with Monero Router to make that easier, and in Cake Wallet you can just send in one transaction, you can just send it to yourself a couple of times.
Yes.
Go for
let's remind people that actually the lockdown, the time that you have to wait is if you receive Monero and you want to spend it again, right? Or if you send Monero and the change back of that transaction, you want to spend it again. But if it's your normal wallet or you are not doing stuff all the time back and forth, that's not an issue. I mean, for example, usually if you are in Monerotopia and you're buying stuff with your Moneros, which are probably going to be small sums, it's not going to be an issue. But yeah, we are working on a solution for that should automatically create different changes. I mean, keep a percentage of the change that you send. So it's kind of tricky to do it because it has to be automated, but at the same time, not creating a lot of dust. So, but our solution has to be like automatic. Once you enable that, you keep having change to spend regularly.
Yeah. So Sunita and I have a lot of real world experience with this. Like, so we were just at the Libertarian Convention. There were thousands of people there, and our goal was to just give away as much Monero as possible. And so we ran into the issue because we initially sent Monero to like one address and its own app wallet that we had on one phone, but it was an issue, right? Because we had to split it up. But then when we started, we kind of abandoned that and just started using our own wallets, which we use all the time. And because of that, there was no issue at all because we were just, we had all those old whatever inputs. We were any transaction we wanted to send, there was no hold up and confirmation time. So I used to be more concerned about the issue. But I'm realizing literally if you use Monero daily, if you're receiving transactions every day and sending transactions every day, literally the problem goes away because you just have, so many old transactions there. And so that's nice to see. And obviously glad to see Anhdres and others trying to work on solutions, but it also just seems like, I'd like to hear you guys' take on that. Do you guys experience the same thing? And do you think that that's actually true. I mean, my anecdotal experiences, I was able to use my personal Monero wallet all day, which I do a lot of transactions with because I'm tipping people whatever all the time. And I didn't have any holdups essentially that day with sending transactions, and I just kept sending one every couple of minutes.
I just received a kind of hack that you can do, like a tip that you can do if you want to avoid that, straight from the actual Monero dev. So the accounts, I really don't know how it works in Cake, but basically the accounts have different I just remember the accounts have different amounts, different balances. So if you don't want to get out of your wallet and put in the password every time, but you create different accounts in your wallet, those balances are separate. So you can be waiting on the you can spend from one and spend right there from another one. So create several accounts. It's like having several wallets that you can spend and be waiting for confirmations separately. If you are on one of those scenarios that you need to make a lot of little payments or receive and back and forth and all that, that is kind of like a hack, but it works.
Yeah, I mainly brought it up because like MoneroKon might be like the first event people go and actually spend Monero like more frequently than every 20 minutes. So they might make a Cake wallet and load it up with a couple bucks of Monero. And of course, they will do it in one transaction. And so they won't have used the wallet before. So just if you go to MoneroKon, just prepare your wallet. Don't put it all in one transaction. Split it up.
That's a good tip. That's a good topic. I'm actually going to go. But before I go, a spicy question for Anhdres.
Spicy.
We like to use the word spicy. So, Anhdres, would you come to Monerotopia next year?
Yeah. That's just why he knows what the difference between Monerotopia and MoneroKon will be.
I will have to see about that and go to Monerotopia so as to compare.
No, but maybe that's ultimately always the difference. You go to Monerotopia if you don't want to see Anhdres. If you want to see Anhdres, you go to MoneroKon.
Whoa.
Okay,
that is a good timeline for Monerotopia. It's like it's the Anhdres free conference, Monero conference.
There you go.
Yes.
I can already see CoinDesk. Anhdres is coming to Monerotopia.
Maybe the rotten free. I think we may have achieved that actually. He's welcome anytime, but I don't think he'll ever.
No, he'll never come to our conference ever.
I don't think he'll ever attend Monerotopia.
Will we see him?
Or you won't know.
I don't know.
We'll work on it. We're gonna work on it.
Anywho's,
all right, guys.
On that note, we're gonna call it.
Let's wrap it up.
We
got to pack.
I'm like, it's just nonstop.
I gotta go to work tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we work. I gotta pack.
Pick up the
dinner.
beans that are coming in from Guatemala. We shit you not. They're arriving tomorrow, right? Oh no, they arrived. We gotta pick them up at the coffee beans. Me. Yep. I got
fresh beans.
I gotta go.
All righty, guys. Muchos thank you.
Ciao. Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Nice trip.
We'll
See you
see
soon.
you
Yep.
in Portugal if
See you
we
in
see
Portugal.
you, my
Ciao.
friends.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this week's Monerotopia episode. We stream live shows every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. You can find and subscribe to our show on YouTube and Odyssey, or listen to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or join us in the Monerotopia Telegram group. See you all next week.